Saluton, bonvenon al mia kanalo. Mia nomo estas lingvosimp. That is the first and last time you'll ever see me speaking Esperanto. I've had Esperanto activists beg me to not make this video for a long time, but I refuse to be silenced. It's pretty well known that I'm not a huge fan of the language, and I think it's time I finally explain why. I want to start this off by saying that I don't personally dislike anyone who learns or speaks Esperanto. There are obviously great and talented people in the community, and it's not my fault that they're brainwashed. If I had a girlfriend who told me, "Kevin, I'm learning Esperanto," I'd respect her decision. I'd break up with her and date her father, but I'd respect her free will to go to the dark side. For those of you who still have your innocence, Esperanto is a constructed language, or conlang, created by Polish eye doctor L.L. Zamenhof in the year 1887. In the modern day, Esperanto is spoken in Esperanto is spoken in It's not spoken anywhere. Esperanto is about as useful as learning Jamaican patois in preparation for your trip to Tokyo. Unlike normal languages like Gujarati and Albanian, Esperanto didn't spawn naturally and develop over time. Instead, Mr. Zamenhof went full Minecraft creative mode and poofed it into existence out of thin air. Zamenhof specifically made Esperanto to be the international language that would foster world peace and unite the nations in a common brotherhood. He wanted it to be everyone's second language, therefore he designed it so that anyone could learn it in just a few months. Sounds great, right? Well, it's not. So today I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons for why I'm not a fan of Esperanto. Number 1, it's just not a good international language. The idea of having a global language that everyone could learn regardless of their native language is really awesome, but Esperanto is a bad choice. First of all, for being the proclaimed international language, it looks a bit too Eurocentric in my opinion. It's written in the American alphabet, and the vocab and grammar are specifically way too similar to what you'd find in Romance languages, and if I wasn't a hyperpolyglot gigachad, I'd probably mistake it for Romanian. Therefore, people outside of the sphere of influence of Europe are gonna have a much harder time learning it. Imagine we force 2 dudes to study Esperanto at the same time. Dude 1 is Juan Pablo Martinez from Texas, and dude 2 is Ming from Wuhan, China. Let's look at how to say the word world in both Juan and Ming's languages. In Spanish, world is mundo, while in Chinese it's
世界.
And the Esperanto word is mondo. Who's gonna have an easier time learning that? Yeah, I'm not sure either. What about the word person? In Spanish, it's persona, while in Chinese it's
人.
And in Esperanto, the word is persono. I think you're starting to get the point. Juan's living life on easy mode recruit difficulty, and Ming has yet to even learn the alphabet. Some might call this European bias, and thus the language itself racist, but I'm not gonna go that far. Esperanto is racist! Oh, that woman just said it, who is absolutely not me, so if you're gonna get mad at anyone, get mad at her. Number 2, it's not easy enough to learn. Esperanto is certainly not the hardest language I've ever seen. I mean, just from researching a little bit for this video, I accidentally got to B1 in it. The grammar is pretty easy, as it has regular verb conjugations, simple prepositions, and it has no grammatical gender. However, it's also an agglutinative language, which I know nothing about, so I'm just gonna assume that it's impossible. But my real problem with it is that it just has too many words. In my opinion, a global language constructed so that people could easily learn it should not have 9,000 root words or whatever with a bajillion different forms like Esperanto. It should only have a few hundred words which describe what's most important in life. And that's why I think Toki Pona should be the international language instead. It only has about 140 words which describe the most crucial things and ideas that make up the universe, and it's a lot more neutral, borrowing from all sorts of different languages on Earth. The pronunciation also isn't just automatically easy for everyone. According to this Wikipedia article, Zamenhof said that Italian should be used as a model for Esperanto pronunciation. Oh, so let's make an international language and base the pronunciation off of a real language, because that's not biased at all. And specifically, we'll choose the language where you have to sing and throw hand signs around just to be understood, like, "Io parlo italiano, ma non parlo molto bene, gorlami." Those noises would be easy for Stefano from Milano to pronounce, but they would not be easy for a random monolingual Russian in Siberia or a random farmer in Pyongyang to pronounce. Number 3, it's poisoning the minds of our youth. Esperanto sucks the life and soul out of unsuspecting and innocent new language learners who don't know any better. When someone enters this hobby, they're bombarded with hundreds of useful and worthy languages all competing to be selected and learned. Then you've got the devil, or the wolf in sheep's clothing, otherwise known as Esperanto, waiting quietly in the corner to swoop the unsuspecting language learner into its trap. He says, "Hey buddy, I'm the easiest, most international language ever. Join my community. It's not a cult. Learn me. Learn me.
Learn me!
I've seen it time and time again. A new language learner comes in my Discord and says,
"Language simp, you inspired me to learn languages. Tell me, what language should I learn?"
And I always tell them to learn something useful like German or Maltese, and then they scurry away. But then I see them a few weeks later brainwashed with an Esperanto profile pic telling me,
"Esperanto is the future. Please believe me."
Submit to Zamenhof.
Number 4, I don't like the name. If we're gonna make an international language that everyone's gonna use, can we at least name it something interesting? What on earth is an Esperanto? It could have been named Spoogity Doogity or Loobity Boobity, or even something sleek like Chet or Doc, or more appropriately, Spanish too. Or Italian Light, or f it, let's just call it European. But instead, we just had to settle on a name that sounds like it should be a city in Ecuador. Number 5, we already have an international language. American is the international language for a reason, and we worked hard all around the world to get that title. We deserve it. We invented phones, computers, cars, freedom, healthcare, democracy, and concrete. Did I forget to say healthcare? But seriously, if we're going to try to convince the world to adopt a lingo as convoluted and Eurocentric as Esperanto, everyone might as well just continue learning American. It's already studied all across the multiverse, and it has simple grammar and phonology rules with no exceptions. Yeah, those are my reasons. Keep in mind that everything in this video was just my opinion. So to summarize, Esperanto is a classic case of great idea, awful execution. Let me know what language you think should be the global lingua franca in the comments, and join my Discord if you want to debate me about this. Arrivederci.